Nos falta.
The slides better, but
Nos falta el clicker.
encourage you to come closer and we will be more like family. Okay, so let's start. Those are both of us, right?
That's ours.
Another one for today. Well, I'm Serrano, Principal Program Manager at Microsoft. I work for SMT. Mario?
Sorry, I think
This one is not?
yeah. No.
Wow.
Now. Now it's better.
Now it sounds like God, apart from having the same name. I was saying that I'm Principal Program Manager at Microsoft and SMT. That sounds, it stands for Strategic Missions and Tech. That sounds like the IOC. But so, go ahead, Mario. Go you.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Mario López. I'm the Chief Innovation Officer in Bravent.
Okay, so let's go over some of real examples. We only have 20 minutes, but we will try to show you at least 10 real examples, real-world examples of different Metaverse flavors, okay? Most of them focus on industrial, but let's start first with this video,
Companies
please.
are pouring hundreds of millions of dollars into the vision of the Metaverse.
Tech giants betting big on the Metaverse.
The Metaverse.
The Metaverse.
What actually is the Metaverse?
The Metaverse.
The Metaverse.
Metaverse. Metaverse.
Okay, exactly what summarizes this video is exactly what is happening. Everybody talks about the Metaverse. Sometimes most of the people, probably between all of us, we will provide a completely different definition for it. The thing is that we want to organize the presentation in this way. We will talk a little bit about commercial Metaverse. Okay, commercial Metaverse is the one where the users are basically interacting between them, trying to get a better productivity, or at least a different productivity than what we have had during the pandemic. Then we will talk a little bit about consumer Metaverse. The consumer Metaverse basically is 99% of the information that is around. But we will show you today some examples that are not specifically related only with virtual reality, but also with augmented reality and real scenarios like during the last World Cup, the current World Cup. And the current, yeah. It's the last for us because we have lost today. We are from Spain, so we have lost today. For us, it's the last World Cup, okay? Since this morning is the last World Cup. And then the industrial Metaverse, okay? So let's go over it. This is one of the areas that we have been working together with Bravent, okay? The creation of different, I would say, virtual worlds, okay? This is one of our platforms, Altspace VR, but that's irrelevant, okay? I'm not here to talk about the product itself, but about what we wanted to achieve with it, okay? Working with Telefonica, we were able to provide for them during the last Mobile World Congress, we provided for them a platform where they have different scenarios, not only for business, okay, with meeting rooms and spaces but also for team working and team activities, okay? And well, this would be like a subset of customers have asked from us to provide them special places for events, okay? You can see here some events with some visual affordances like this one, okay? You can basically dress your avatar with the shirt of the event. Try to imagine that most of these things have happened in some countries where the pandemic was hitting hard, okay? So with this, basically, we can integrate video, we can do a lot of stuff, and also, in this case, this company, Immerse, okay, was also interested not only in this part of, relationship with others, attending presentations, or relationship between the employees. They also wanted to have a space where the employees can do and have fun. Okay, most of the people, and probably all of you, have had hundreds of meetings, activating your camera, okay, with your colleagues and calls and so on, and that's super boring. That was good for the first month. After that, you basically don't want the people to watch you in pyjama at home, so basically you turn off the camera and you only speak. But this customer was super interested on having the employees interacting together between them. Another interesting area that we have been working a lot is about making the meetings more productive. I have driven like around 100 co-ideation sessions in my career. Okay, or 150 more or less. But I can tell you that since the pandemic started, the problem creating or leading a co-ideation session is how to have the same relationship that we have when we are doing a brainstorm session, okay? Obviously, you cannot interact with the people in the same way. And what we, the video stopped. Why?
No, I think this finished.
I think it's finished. Okay. These kind of meetings are definitely not as productive as it was in the past, physically speaking, and now again. Okay, so what we were able to do is to integrate here all the communication tools like Teams, but also at the same time to have the feeling of being all of us in the same meeting. Jumping a little bit to the consumer space, to the consumer metaverses, years ago, this is 5 years ago, we started to create experiences, and this is the first Holo Racing game that was published in HoloLens store. Okay, so this was made for Toyota World Rally Championship for the competition, and what we made here is basically a game that can be played with HoloLens anywhere. You basically can map the floor in seconds, and we showed this in 3 different rallies in Australia and Barcelona. Okay, where the people were basically bringing the kids with us, like in a kindergarten. Okay, and they leaving the kids, hey, stay here with the kids, with the guys from Microsoft, and they were going to see the mechanics doing real things with real engines. Okay, but the thing is that the experience, okay, was also considering the floor or the elements. Even you can basically put the legs like this, and you can do drifting around your own legs. Okay, so it was really funny, and we were experiencing with this kind of experiences in worldwide events like World Rally Championship deployments. But also this was before the pandemic. For the IAF World Championships in athletics, okay, we created the first outside navigation. In this case, it's a wayfinding navigation, where only using your phone you can be driven directly to your seat. Okay, one of the big issues, it was in Qatar. It was an experiment 3 years before the World Cup, like this year. 99% of the visitors were for the first time in the country. Okay, so nobody knew where they had to go, and also security requirements had a security perimeter around the stadiums of 300 meters, and also there were 40 degrees Celsius in the shadow.
You can imagine.
Okay, so if you go wrong left or right to find your seat, probably you have to walk around the stadium 1 kilometer. Okay, so it was critical to find your seat as quick as possible. Also, we created during the night, as you can see there, some experiences for the fans in the fan zones, where the fans basically can find rewards, and obviously, as always, driven by a sponsor. Okay, if you find the last medal, okay, the gold medal, you can interact with your avatar, with the avatar. That was the mascot of the event, that was called Fala. But also we took that Fala mascot and we put it inside the stadium. So for the first time, and you probably have seen some videos around the internet about the experiences in augmented reality during this World Cup, okay? But for the first time in 2019, we were able to talk to a presence, a virtual assistant that was made in augmented reality, as you can see in English and in Arabic, and know what was happening in the pitch, okay, for the first time, as you can see there.
Okay, and this is a project that I love because I had the opportunity to travel personally to Doha and see in real time how the players were enjoying this application. So this is pretty similar to the last one that Jesus presented. It's a treasure hunt that we have created for Edu again, and it's an AR experience around the Doha city. So as you can see in the video, just using your cell phone, you have to scan different QR codes in different locations, and in each of them you have to pass different challenges. You have to use your AR camera, and you have to play different games. You have to do different quizzes, and as you are seeing, the users are able to win different and amazing prizes. So this is a project that is currently being used not for us, but it's the currently FIFA World Cup 2022. And just to give you some numbers, we are getting right now thousands of users per day. And I think that right now more than 40,000 prizes have been won by the users.
Okay. So let's move to the industrial metaverse directly, okay? This is one of our capabilities over one of our platforms on the cloud, okay? That is the capability to create digital twins. I always say that digital twins is not the 3D representation of the digital twin. The digital twin is the data that is behind, okay? So only with the data you can manage a digital twin. The thing is that now we can represent them in 3D. And as Mario was commenting about the last World Cup, during the last World Cup, the 8 stadiums built during in Qatar, in Doha, has been managed in a centralized way from one single control room, okay? Managing all the stadiums through digital twins and knowing absolutely every single fact or thing happening in the different stadiums from one single digital room. And using a technology very similar to what we are showing here. We cannot show the real images of the stadiums because it's confidential. But in this case, you can see a refinery, okay? And the thing is that now you can interact with these elements and manage. In my personal computer, I have 65,000 windmill turbines. But talking about windmill turbines, Mario will show you a little bit later something more. And also another area that we have been working heavily is about how to generate those models that are so realistic that it basically is like a picture in 3D. We have here in the lobby an experience to scan yourself in 3D. That's great, but how you put something like this inside? Okay, you can. So using NERF technology, NERF technology, okay, and just basically taking with a drone or manually some pictures around an object in 3D, you can basically convert this in a 3D model that can represent a digital twin in your application. And basically, obviously you will need some kind of editing on this to create mobile parts and so on. But the real thing is that the precision and the visualization is quite impressive. We have been working heavily on this to represent different industrial scenarios. And as you know, and those pictures are not definitely new from Microsoft, we have been working heavily in other areas, like industrial environments, but also medical and health environments. I was present the first time a HoloLens was in a surgery room. Okay, so I can tell you that's quite impressive to see how a person who is to operate is going to do a surgery over someone is using a device to see some of the tests or the things that are analyzing the person that is physically speaking there, okay? Also for training purposes and readiness and to get help remotely, one of the first scenarios I was working on was someone supporting a technical field person that was repairing an elevator. Okay, there are like 150 different models of elevators, and obviously the field worker doesn't know everything about every single model, okay? So he can be assisted by someone remotely, showing to him where he has to exactly adjust something or to correct something. And finally, another area of exploration that I've been working on is experiences around engineering, okay, or around design or architecture, okay? So let's move on to real scenarios.
Now, yes, let's talk about different projects, different real projects. Now let's talk about how immersive technologies could help us to improve smart cities and, in this case, water treatment companies. This is a real project that we have developed for a company in Spain. This is a real video that we have recorded in Canary Island. It's a place that I recommend to visit. It's a very good place. So as you are seeing in the video, just using a cell phone or a tablet, the field worker is able to access to all the information that is coming from the pipe system. So at the end, the field worker is able to repair or to do any maintenance, as you can imagine, faster and in an easier way.
And do the hole in the right place, because how many times have you seen the people doing the hole in the wrong place? That's something that sounds ridiculous, but it happens.
So important. Okay, and now let's talk about wind turbines. So have you ever seen a wind farm? Now, thanks to the power of the cloud and in this case digital twin, we can access to all the information that we can get in real time. We can see what is happening, we can monitorize, we can simulate, we can test, we can see everything from any place of the world.
Yeah. It's amazing the amount of money that you can save if you correct or repair something or replace something in a windmill turbine before it breaks.
Yeah.
Because it's thousands of, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And now with this solution, we are going one step ahead. We are working with very big companies to reduce the food carbon print, because we are able to predict with different conditions where are the best place for a wind farm. So as you can imagine, this is something that is being something very, very, very important. Okay, and now let's talk about supply chain. So here, as you can see, we have many different elements, but we are going inside the factory. We can see what is happening in real time. We have different information. We have all the sensors. But now, thanks to immersive technologies, we can go one step ahead. We can go inside directly to the factory, and we can see everything that is happening. We can see the orders, we can see the products, we can see the sensors, and also, of course, as you can imagine, we are in the metaverse. So we can collaborate with our colleagues, we can share documents, we can share any information, and also we can see if we have any alert or any problem. So we can take some decisions that can improve our business. And now let's talk about this is the last project that we feel most proud of because its impact. Many of you know Ferrovial, that is a global mobility operator. Here we are collaborating with them in a project that is called IVIA. And this is a project that the main focus is to improve the infrastructure and also to ensure the ecosystem between the autonomous vehicles and traditional vehicles. So here we are working with them to create a huge digital twin, where we are gathering all the information that is coming from the roads. We have information that are coming from the cars, the people, the sensors, the cameras, and we are working with all of this information and also with external information, with weather conditions and so on. So we are training different AI models to predict what could happen. For example, here in the video, as you are seeing, we have an accident. So we can predict which is the best route to take. So this is something that is very, very important.
Mm-hmm. And also simulate hundreds and hundreds of times what happens if there are exactly 100 cars per second or 200 cars per second, and exactly in the same way. And also if there is an entry to the highway or it's an exit to the highway that is separated by a different measure in meters, okay? But you can simulate how all of this work in the real world before it happens, and probably saving millions before building that part of the highway.
And also one important thing is that according to McKinsey, by 2040, 80% of the cars will be autonomous. So as you can imagine, we have to work very hard to achieve it. And this is a real project of how we are trying to get it.
Yeah, just to let you know, Sachi and Adela personally highlighted this project and named this project a lighthouse worldwide in our last public event in Build. Because not only the importance of the customer, okay, but the level of complexity that it brings, and also how they have been able to simulate and with machine learning, things that are basically unmeasurable until it happens. Okay, that's the problem with normally in the real world, is that you are never capable to detect something until it happens for the first time. So they have been able to simulate all of those things and prepare the highway to be ready for those things, with more spaces in some cases, okay, with a better distribution of the nodes, okay, and so on. But at the end, an important work that they have been doing. So just to summarize, because as said, we have been trying to stick to the time and present you 10 different cases. For me, there will be only 3 takeaways for you. Consider that whatever you hear around about the Metaverse could be many different things, can be represented in many different ways. Each one of us would have a completely different definition for it. But for me, there are 3 flavors, I would say, or 3 areas of innovation in them. The consumer, the one that we all know because it's always in the news, and every time we hear about the Metaverse, we always hear about it and related to consumer. But the other thing is that the enterprise or commercial Metaverse is advancing very, very quick. It's providing some experiences that are much better than what we have experienced, especially during the pandemic, and can solve other problems and can boost the productivity and collaboration between the different users. And the third one, that is industrial Metaverse. Not many people know, even probably if we go out of this room with all of the people attending this event, not everyone knows that the industrial Metaverse is much more advanced than the other 2. But much more advanced.
For me, the most important.
Yeah, and probably is more impactful for the business than the consumer Metaverse. And finally, just to mention, some analysts, most of the analysts are saying that the opportunity for the industrial Metaverse is around 250 billion by 2030, which is just around the corner.
Yeah.
Okay. And the opportunities for different companies who want to help to build these kind of metaverses for the industrial space is huge, is massive, okay?
Yeah. So, well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for listening us. And if you want to know more about us, or if you want to try our applications, you can come to visit us to our booth. We are in the 203 in front of Meta. So thank you. And also you can scan the QR code. You have the chance to get a free MetaQuest 2. Thank you so much.
Yes, please. Happy to catch up later. Bye. Thank you.